Good morning, Devils fans, and what a good day it is because not only did we win 5-3 last night over the Minnesota Wild, but it's already another Devils game day as we play an 8 o'clock game against the St. Louis Blues. I know, another back-to-back already in the season. Well, get used to them because we do have the most back-to-backs in the NHL, so they basically happen all year long. But get a bit of ahead of ourselves for tonight's game as I got to recap what we did to Minnesota in their own building last night. Now, it wasn't anything too crazy outside of Jesper Bratt basically dominating the ice every single time he was out there. But we did control play. We had a very strong first period. Nothing astronomical, but still a strong first. We scored first again. Heck, we scored the first 3 goals. We had that done to us previously, but we actually put the shoe on the other foot in this case, and it was good. That first goal there by Holtz was basically entirely created by Nate Bastian, an absolute effort by him there. Not just behind the net, but also just driving the play from the middle of the ice as well. Holtz comes in off the change, doesn't get picked up, and Holtz does what he was brought in to do, and that was snipe a shot off of a one-timer. So that's what you love to see. I'm going to touch on the Holtz line, the bottom six as a whole, here in a moment. Going to just kind of recap the game real quickly first. From there, we did get 2 more in the first period, which was followed up by the phenomenal play by Jesper Bratt. He had the slick entry, slick blue line keep in, and following it up with the pass over to Palat, tap over to McLeod, boom, another beautiful setup play, basically all facilitated by Jesper Bratt, as well as having the power play goal, which we are becoming very used to. Jack Hughes doing Jack Hughes things. Timo Meier with a very easy, nice tap in. He almost had a second one later on in the game on the power play as well, where he just barely misses hitting the inside of the bar, bounces back out, and then we end up scoring on that power play anyway. So it was good to see. We actually had some 5-on-5 goals. We had a power play goal, and it really felt like maybe we were going to coast to a fairly easy win for once. And of course, we could not have a nice, easy, no heart attack inducing night, as we did end up giving up the next 2 goals. First of which was on the power play, Kaprizov with an absolute snipe. I'm not going to really tear apart one of the best players in the league, having one of the best shots of the game and scoring on the power play. 3-1 in our favor after that one. The penalty kill for the most part was all right this game. Kaprizov definitely tore it apart on that one, and full credit to him there. Also, I can't be too upset at that one. Another notch in my belt there for the fantasy team, so that also feels good. Next goal was a bit tic-tacky. Maybe you could say Vitek needs to have this. If I do have any criticism of Vitek, I've been pretty staunch defender of him so far to start the season. It is the fact that he does swim a bit. He relies on his athleticism. He's not a full-on positional goalie, so when things are bouncing around like that with chaos in front of the net, as does kind of sometimes tend to happen, at least when our bottom of the lineup guys are on the ice, he finds himself losing his crease a little bit, and that's kind of what happened here. The puck got deflected out top off of one of our guys. It deflects off of another stick, bouncing around, and you got the pass play from, I believe it was Boldy, which then kind of deflected off and then went over to Rossi, and the puck goes into the net. So not the best, not exactly what you want to see, but I did point out that Boldy coming back was going to be a big one. Then they did shake up their lines, and this line actually ended up looking really good. I think it was Boldy, Rossi, Kaprizov. Basically, they were getting pretty hemmed in outside of just this line. And once this line was put together, they were basically the only ones generating any sort of offense for Minnesota. And so they did, they got this goal. Bouncing pucks like that, multiple deflections, broken play, very hard to criticize the goalie. But if I do have any criticism for there, it's that Vitek kind of lost his net a bit, lost the puck, and that's kind of where the opportunity came in for it to be a fairly easy goal against in this case. We come back again there in the third period. That goal was at the start of the third. We come back and score another power play goal. This one was thankfully pretty easy setup by the boys. Again, those zone entries are money with that top unit. Big credit to that is, you got 3 guys that are basically automatic entries here, automatic setups. And once you get that cycle going on the power play, it highly increases your chances of scoring, as we are seeing with these guys. But Bratt, again, gets the Danico tertiary assist. with the play going to Luke, to Foley, and Brat with the one-time snipe. Here's where I'm going to rant about a bit. What an absolute stud that he has been. You love to see it, and it was just some in by him in this one. 4-point game, and that's that's not much else to say about it there. Only Jack, by the end of that game, Jack was the only one in the NHL. Now, Vancouver did end up putting up a 10 spot on San Jose. So Pedersen did end up passing Brat by the end of the night. But if you saw my one tweet, I don't count any Pacific team stats this season because you get to play San Jose a bunch and you get to play against Edmonton and Calgary. So yeah, your points don't really count. Obviously, that's how the NHL works. So Jack and Brat absolutely destroying it. The best two players in the league right now. Brat has just been insane, just bonkers. Play out of him. He probably could have had another goal in this one as well. Absolutely dominated every time he was on the ice. Carried that line with Mikey McLeod up there. But Mikey's also been playing very well. Now, he's not the most offensively gifted guy. It's kind of where he's fallen down, but he's always had the engine and some soft hands and drive. It's just really been the scoring touch. But when you got plays with Brat and Palat sending him up like he did for a tap in, he's going to score goals. And so, yeah, if he's going to drive play like that, win the faceoffs, and get the puck into Brat's hands, it's going to continue to work. So, Nico's going to be out for at least a few more games. Hopefully not too much longer, but who knows. It's great to see we had someone that could fill in that ice and really work with Brat and continue to drive play because that's really what we need in this one. From there, Minnesota again makes it a 1-goal game in the last few minutes. This is the one I do put a bit on VTech. It now was a bit of another deflection, but he kind of swimmed a bit, hits the knob of his stick, lifts his leg, goes right under. That's one of the ones if he was just kind of staunch in his positioning and in holding his crease, probably doesn't go in. That one I was a bit more upset of over the second one. So, yeah, that was not the best goal to give up. Makes it really interesting at the end, if not for getting another power play, 5-on-3, power play cooks, Dougie one-timer. What else is there to say? Jack does another setup, gets another assist. I think Brat also got the assist on that one, and just beautiful stuff from the boys. The power play, it's coming close to hitting 50% already this far into the season. Insane stuff. Does it maintain basically 50% over a full year? Maybe. But I could see them definitely doing those Edmonton Oilers numbers from last year. I see no reason for it to fall off outside of, Jack or Luke, I guess, getting injured for long term. But, knock on wood on that one. Now, what about the game as a whole? What are some takeaways? So, ranted about Brat, insane play. Our top line there with Jack, Timo Toffoli, again, was okay at 5-on-5. They didn't take over the game. They weren't a dominant force like they were a few games, for a handful of games there. But they were fine. They controlled ice. They got chances. They also had some stuff against. That line definitely does a lot of their cooking there on the power play. And you would like to see them ramp it up a bit more at 5-on-5. But they weren't bad. They weren't getting hemmed in by any means, but it just wasn't very dominant like the Brat line was. Now for the bottom six. Holtz's numbers analytically aren't looking the best, but a lot of that is really Tierney has been basically nothing on that line, and Nate has been somewhat hit or miss. Had the absolutely dominated to set up that first goal, but then after that kind of went a bit quieter. I personally have also seen some discourse around Mercer needs to be benched, set up into the press box, reduce minutes, something like that. I did go into the numbers a bit. Now, he has been one of our better penalty killers. Not the best one, but one of the better ones. The best one by far and away has been Brendan Smith. And, it's not even close. Every metric, everything you could look at or determine to try and grade a penalty killer, Brendan Smith clears heavy everyone else on this team. So if you're wondering why he's still getting minutes, that's why. By far and away, best penalty killer in Brendan Smith. But Mercer has also been pretty good. So I think that's a big reason why he is staying. But I think he needs to be swapped with Holtz. Drop Mercer down to the fourth line. Make him be you're the driver here. You need to be the one generating offense with currently would be Tierney and Bastion. Maybe that gives a little bit of pep to his step. And let Holtz get some time with Hala and Lazar. Because Hala's been so-so as well. Now he has generated goals, has been scoring a bit for us, which has been nice. But the actual full circle play from him on the ice has been maybe just a little bit below average. Lazar's been great now, but Lazar's not a goal scorer. He has potted a few in his time here with us, but that's not really his bread and butter. Instead, he definitely stymies chances against and generates play going the other way, which is really good, especially if you were to put someone with, say, Holtz, a guy that's not a play driver but has great passing to set up a guy like Holla, who has been a bit of a goal scorer to start the season. But also, if you can actually get him the puck in the right spot, is going to one time and has probably one of the nastiest shots on the team. So that's personally what I would do. I don't think that's actually going to happen, as Holt seems to be perpetually in the Lindy Ruff doghouse, and Lindy loves Dawson, so and Dawson earned himself kind of a bit of a runway with his first 2 seasons, so I don't see that happening. It's just personally what I would do. Now, the defense overall played really well outside of John Marino really not having the best of games. They did put Luke with him, and I think that kind of brought Marino back up to snuff a little bit, but he just seemed a little slow in his decision making. Is where I had Marino. He kind of gave up the puck a bit behind the net. Just the decision making part just seemed to be a tick behind there. But yeah, I kind of said in the initial preview, both of Minnesota's goalies have been struggling. We kind of see that here. Again, both of them giving up, multiple goals, 4 or 5 goals. And Minnesota has a fairly lethal offense when given the opportunity, but generally gives up most of the drive of play. Again, that is what happened here in this game. But we can see if given chances, they can put the puck in the net. This is not your dad's Devils, where we're going to win games 2-1, 1-0. This is what you need to come to expect. 5-3s. 4-3s, 4-2s, hopefully maybe some 6-1s, 6-2s thrown in there occasionally. But that's really what we should come to expect from this team, basically all season long, as I don't see us changing up this play style at all, because there's really no need to. Okay, so from there, any other takeaways on this one? I don't think so. I think I basically hit on everyone in different facets of the game. So let's go ahead and jump over to tonight's game versus St. Louis Blues. This is a bit of a trap game, boys and girls and NBs. Oh boy, St. Louis's numbers are atrocious. Oh boy, are they atrocious. I am talking bottom of the barrel. They have nobody above 50% Corsi on their entire team. Same in, I think they have one person above 50 in high nature chances. I think nobody in expected goals for. Bad across the board. Defense, forwards, everybody. Their top line gets crunched. I'm like 38% in a lot of categories. Like, bad people. Like, this is one of those games where you look at the numbers purely and you're like, we should skate them into the ground. Like, just walk all over this team just looking at the numbers. Now, that being said, this is a home game for St. Louis. They did have a game break here from their last game, and we are on a traveling back-to-back, which I always try to err on the side of caution. We played an away game in Minnesota. We are now traveling to St. Louis, and it's not the biggest travel, but it is still travel nonetheless. You played the night before. You got to get on a plane, or maybe they bus. I'm assuming plane. Staying in a different hotel, getting on all that stuff, right? Traveling back-to-backs are, it's not not the best, especially when it is that middle time zone tight frame. Just kind of throws it off, but. We are really good on the road. I'm not making any excuses. We should win this one. Outside of Binnington standing on his head, because he's been good to start this. Not insane, but he's been good. Binnington has been good. He has had a bit of resurgence this year, and he always seems to want to step it up versus us, because apparently he had some beef with Marty when Marty was still over in St. Louis. So he seems to always step it up versus the Devils, but we should absolutely crunch this team. They have the worst power play in the NHL, so maybe a chance for our penalty kill to cook a little bit. They have a middle-of-the-road penalty kill, so another chance for our power play to feast. And their 5-on-5 numbers across the board, like I said, abysmal. Every line, every defensive pairing, everybody. I could not pick out a single player on this team like I could in Minnesota with Kaprizov, even Boldy coming back. And again, I shouted him out. He has point per game. And yeah, there's no one like that in St. Louis, guys. It's atrocious there. Not looking good in St. Louis. I don't even know what else to talk about with them. I guess Thomas has been all right. Kyrou has not been. They've had like one line that's played one game together, so I don't know if that was a new iteration or one they moved away from, but that had even semi-decent numbers. But yeah, this should be a good game. Outside of maybe slow or coming out hot with the game before and then maybe tapering off by the end, I don't know. But we should be able to just skate them into the ground all game, and that's really what we should expect. But traveling back-to-backs, trap type game. So that's really going to do it. We'll see how tonight goes. Probably get to see Schmidt again. I would really love to see a bounce back from Schmidt. I think Vitek has been fine. Not good, not bad like a lot of people are saying, but he's been fine. I actually think last night was arguably one of his worst outings, and he still made a few saves that really kept us in it, including a beautiful toe save, edge of his skate against Hartman, who maybe maybe could have had a couple more goals if he didn't whiff on like every pass that was sent to him. But yeah, I would love to see a bounce back from Schmidt. A really solid game from Schmidt here, I think, would give this team a lot of confidence, and really, really need to see that from him because I think he needs a bit of a confidence boost as well. Yeah, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Looking forward to this game tonight. Really want to see how much we can cook against a team that is apparently this atrocious. So I'll see you all tomorrow morning, as always, and forever. Let's go Devils, baby.